It's 2 minutes gone past the hour of 9 o'clock in the morning time. It's a sound of Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, to you wherever you're listening to my voice this morning. Indeed, it's a pleasure being here with you. Your boy JC on a Tuesday, that is, the first episode of To The Point for the year 2023. And indeed, I want to take the opportunity to say, Happy New Year to one and all, wherever you are. Wishing you the best for the new year. Hoping that your dreams and aspirations, they do come through. And that you live to realize and become, as I always encourage, to become the best version of yourself. Shedding the old skin that allows for rejuvenation and setting you on a new plateau. So that's where we are, and indeed it's a pleasure being here with us so we can continue on our conversation. This morning, being the first episode for the year, it's going to be an open line, and certainly the end of the year as we get into the new year is always a good time for reflection, the highs and lows, the ins and betweens. I know persons may probably is the point where you start making resolutions as to what you may realistically achieve or what you may not. We normally say to people, my resolutions, they remain the same, and I've been consistent for the last so many years that I'm not making any resolutions. However, I do strive to become the best version of myself that is possible. So we open up the lines. Let's share this morning reflections on the year that was 2022, the highs, the lows. Where were we a year ago as we started thinking progressively as to the year to come? And here we are a year later, having gone through COVID, I've gone through so many things. Your reflections on the year that was and some of the things as you look forward, hopefully, to transforming and really changing. I know sometimes when we hear the word about transformative agenda, we suddenly think that it is some new term that was pulled out of the sky. It is what we strive to do every day. Become the best version of ourselves and do that with the best that we can to become a better individual. What are your plans? What would you like to see happen? What changes across the different sphere, government, social? What would you like to see take place? That's the conversation that we'd want to have this morning. The number is on screen, 435-2041. And certainly want to encourage you, as we always do, for persons that are calling in to ensure that you try to keep your contribution as succinct as possible. My intention is never to run anybody, but certainly we have to do appreciate that there's a time factor involved, and we do want to get as much contributions as possible. If you are again calling, reminding you that you keep away from the device and the listening device, and you can't conduct the conversation by the telephone. Good morning, caller. You are live. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, JC. How are you?
Good morning. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, darling.
How may I help? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, let's also to Rossum, Brenda Batiste, Nicola Telesford, and Cadore, and Innocent. All the best to you all for the Happy New Year.
Thank you. All the best to you, my dear lady.
Yeah, I continue your good works.
Thank you.
Good announcers and all such like good reporters.
Thank you very much.
With distinction.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Good.
6 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. It is still the point. It's an open line segment and giving you the opportunity to join the conversation and maybe send up New Year's greetings. Maybe tell somebody that you love them. You know, very often that's something we sort of shied away from, not expressing ourselves positively. It is always so easy for us to tell somebody, I don't like what you've done. But very often when they do super things, we say nothing. Good morning, you're alive. Happy New Year.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I'm calling to on a burning issue in the Sister Isle of Carriacou.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is the geriatric people on the island of Carriacou seems to be under a little bit of pressure from the present administration. Somebody needs to look into it. You have workers that have been working for the past 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, as the case may be. And the ministry is calling a meeting and telling workers that they're no longer entitled to holidays. This is ridiculous in the state of Grenada. As long as you work for consecutively more than 12 months, you're entitled to its holiday. And I don't know if the department in Carriacou is aware of the code or the guidance from the Ministry of Labor that guides people how to work.
Right.
So we need to look into this.
And is that concern something you have evidence regarding? Because I find it hard to believe in this day and age that anybody within at a government level or private sector level would say to someone that they're not entitled to holidays once they have satisfied the necessary work criteria.
Of course.
Okay.
This is something that we have evidence of.
Okay. So here's what
you cannot. We've gone out of the age of slavery. People have rights. You can't have people working and telling them that they're not entitled to holiday. You can't have people who is working on a monthly basis and telling them that if they miss one day of work, whether they're sick or they decide not to show up, you deducting the salary. The government cannot be reinstating deduct salary for teachers on one hand, and you are the verge of deducting salary from geriatric workers on the sister isle of Carriacou on the other hand.
If that is in fact it's playing out the way you are saying this morning, that is quite shameful. But here's can I suggest though, and because this is something that is we need to get to the bottom of it. If I give you can I give you my email address or telephone number, and we can have a conversation thereafter at the end of the program, or you can send me whatever material you have to substantiate that. So certainly I'll be able to follow up with it.
Certainly.
So I'll give you my email online to see it is quite simple. It is joseph@gbn.gd. It's quite simple.
Thank you.
Joseph@gbn.gd. Send me a mail. I'll be looking for it because I'm accessing it now. And we can.
And your telephone number is
456-3454.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good.
All the best to you. 9 minutes, actually 10 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time, and certainly, if that is in fact what the caller is saying, and certainly my position is that of being able to authenticate and verify and fact-check that which the claims that have been made by this caller. Good morning, caller. You alive?
Good morning, Uncle Joe, and happy New Year to you.
Well, happy New Year to you, my dear lady.
All right. So how was your holidays?
It was very quiet. Very quiet, but excellent.
Good. I would like to say Happy New Year to all the members of GBN. But there are some special ones, like Uncle Joe, like Tony Julian is a lover boy, and everybody else, Mr. Telesford Innocent, everybody. So now what the guy, the caller a while ago was talking about geriatric workers. I tell you, geriatric workers, and I have facts, in Grenada, well, I do not know about Carriacou and Petite Martinique, they are the lowest end of the stick, if they're touching the stick at all. People treat us in Grenada here as we're not appreciated, we have no value, we're not important. That is some. So, however, that has been said. That's a fact. Now, I would like to see that the growth of Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique continues. This NDC government made Grenada in zero, and they are trying to go up. I'm asking all the opposition members to walk along and they advise or whatever work together for the benefit of the country, not only criticizing Joseph Big and Joseph this and Joseph have a lot of money. No. Let us work with the government, the present government. They are trying. They're doing well so far, and we appreciate it. And one thing I want to talk about is, according to the pumpkin vine and the grapevine, nobody's living at the Prime Minister residence in above Tempe Day. So I am suggesting, if there is vacant, that the Governor General, maybe they should get a little facelift. We're spending a lot of monies on the Governor General, big rent hotel and all facilities and accommodation. That we move the Governor General there. It's good, it's okay, proper, secure. I understand from the grapevine, the police barracks up there need a little shake-up. Shake it up. Just for cutting off costs, because right. Uncle Joe, in my understanding, 1 month's salary and accommodation and so on for the Governor General could build a whole school. So that is my suggestion. That I hope they can consider it. Okay. Have a good one.
Great, thank you. All the best for your contribution.
Bye-bye.
13 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. It's to the point. First for the year 2023, the first of many things for first official working day, and certainly I want to give today is an open line and give you the opportunity to share, contribute, raise thoughts and concerns on issues of national interest, reflect on the year that was, and certainly give some considerations as to area of change, growth, improvement that you would like to realize as we head deeper into the new year. 435-2041, and that is the number on the inside. Remember, you can also share your comments via our WhatsApp page, and certainly I'm definitely be just going to log in here so as to be able to share and whatever sentiments that are raised via the platform, and also say good morning to those of you that's chimed in via our Facebook page. Yes, Facebook, go to Facebook, and you just log into the Grenada Broadcasting Network page, and certainly we'll be there to be part of the conversation. 50 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after the commercial.
No, that's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Thank you. Welcome back to the program. It's 17 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. We go straight to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Well, Happy New Year, as the saying goes.
Sir?
In follow-up to the lady who asked the question about the Prime Minister's residence, do we know why the Prime Minister at the present time is not living there?
That's for me to respond. I'm assuming it's a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
For us to think on.
Yeah. Well, if he's not living there, then, as the woman said, that building could be used as a Governor General's home and office space, then, right? So to speak. But I mean, is it the problem we should investigate? Whether is the building livable, or could it be made livable so that then the Prime Minister would live there? Because as it is now, he's not living there, right?
And I'm agreeing 100% that whatever the issue or issues are as to why he isn't living there, okay, so be it. Then, if we can utilize the facility, maybe, as you said, do some upgrades, give it a facelift, then certainly I am all for it. Anything that allows us to save some money,
of course,
to keep some money in our coffers, I am all for it.
Yeah, but if he's not living there and he's living at his home, then what is the problem? I mean, are we paying to keep the building going without he not living there?
And I think those are questions that need to be asked, and certainly I would certainly
I would like to find out.
First to follow up, and I'm taking a note of that as to exactly what the current situation is and how can we navigate our way going forward.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
435-2041, commentator on social media says that geriatric persons, I just lost it here. Right, this person says geriatric workers are appreciated, but not all are qualified to do the job. They must also be trained properly to care with patience, respect, treating the client's needs with priority, not theirs. We need training. They need training, coaching, and even a license or certificate for these work. And I agree with all of those sentiments, caller. But certainly regarding if you saw it necessary that one should provide a service and they qualify for a vacation, then so be it. Let it be done. But I agree with all of the sentiments that you've shared. That's the only way we can literally take our geriatric care to the next level is by certifying persons and make sure that they're qualified and they can appreciate exactly that which they are doing. 435-2041, that is the number on the inside, and we want to say thanks. Well, good morning to you, Carl Thompson. You seem to be off quite sprightly for the new year. Peace and love to you. Again, to all those of you that's on social media, we say thanks for being part of the conversation. Veronica Sandy saying, good morning, Grenada Current Group, and P.T. Martinique. Good morning to you, my dear lady. While we're at it, why not send some belated birthday greetings to the man up there on the sister aisle, Mr. Bido? I know that you're always locked in and that you are part of the conversation. 21 minutes gone past the hour. Anything specific you really want to see change in our education system? There's the issue of COVID, and I know most COVID seem to be a conversation of the past that we're not even paying much of attention to. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You alive?
Good morning, Joseph, and Happy New Year to you, my brother.
Thank you. Good morning to you. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to say hats off to GBN for your daily service and programs, because when you more or less come like a shetty, you're not so in touch with outside, but you follow the GBN, and I get a lot of information to know what is going on, and I want to say hats off to all of you. And you are my favorite boy. I just love hearing you on the program, and I want to wish you all well and all the best for the new year.
Thank you. Wishing you all the best too, my dear.
All right.
Happy New Year's. 435-2041, and that is the number on the inside. Carl Thompson says that, what is it? He says it is time to stop the foolishness about resolutions. People do not change anything because of the new year. Just wait for tomorrow. And I often say, who are we to determine what a person's resolution may or may not entail? I normally encourage, I don't necessarily agree that it has to be a new year thing, but I can understand why it's the start of a year. But I say to each his own. What needs to be done, though, when it comes to resolutions, is that they must be practical, right? You not just decide, I'm just going to make a resolution because for the sake of making a resolution. It must be objective, it must be between reason, it must be measurable. This is how I'm going to go about doing this, and you work on it. And I want to say to those of you who, for whatever purpose, you've set yourself a resolution, do not beat up upon yourself if 3 months down the road you slip up. That's just how life is. You know what? Dust yourself off, pick up, put the pieces together, and you continue moving on. 425-2041, and that is the number on the inside. People change. Whether or not people can change, yes, people can change. People do change. There's each and every one of us. I know for those of you who say that people cannot change, I can assure you there are areas in your life that you have changed. Maybe you have not been objective enough to realize it. Another caller, good morning, you alive.
Yes, good morning to you, Joe, and I would like to wish you all the best for the new year.
Wishing you the same.
I would like to encourage you to keep watching for your blessings. Yes?
Indeed.
All right. I just want to add one little line to the discussion on the government, on the Prime Minister's residence.
Sure.
Morris Bishop did not live there. But during that time, it was television free, Grenada. I just thought I would add that little bit, so just in case somebody is writing something about it, you know?
Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, caller. Have yourself a super day and a super year.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. 425-2041. Just add to the conversation. I think it would be a shame, and for too long, not just the issue of the Prime Minister's residence, and we're going to delve into that further, but there's a lot of government buildings that for too long have just been left to ruins. I mean, the one that comes to mind is, and I'm not sure exactly who owns it, but I'm just for instance saying the old Parliamentary Electoral Office right at the entrance of Woolwich Road. As to why they left it, I'm not really quite sure, but it's just heartrending that building has been left there, standing there, covered in vines after all of those years. Whatever the situation that warranted them to have to leave the building, I'm almost certain it begs the question: was there something that could have been done to salvage or to rectify whatever the issue, and we put it into some other use. 26 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. The sound of classic 105.5, 105.9. Somebody's continued to chime in on the issue in Carriacou. My dear gentleman, that you promised me some information. Hoping that you have not forgotten me, and I'm promising you that I too will follow up on the issue. For the start of the year, the licensing and inspection of motor vehicles, that process starts this morning, and certainly the IRGPF is encouraging folks to be in the know as they continue to modernize and transform and digitize the IRGPF, and certainly among those changes to be instituted is a new digitally issued decal and certainly that will be part of the rollout. The new system would be launched, but they started the rollout, and certainly we can say we appreciate that which is happening from the government's end. So that's the first day of school. Yeah, the kids are back out in their glory. I'm not sure if all schools are. I think in most cases, some private schools probably, they do either the following week or a day later. But certainly, just keep in mind that the kids are out, and I want to encourage you parents to play your part in ensuring the success of our children. Each and every one of us must play our part. Very often we leave the task of nurturing and developing to the teachers. but you don't know what workload the teachers have. And certainly, I think it would be remiss of any one of us as parents if we just assume that our teachers will impart the same values that we want for our children. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I want to let the ministers know that the telephone numbers that are listed online, none of them work. Could that come?
Caller? That's what the caller was saying, that the numbers that are listed online. I was probably trying to go and ask you exactly where are you sourcing the information from. If you can, though, caller. Yes, if you can. Because certainly, as you can appreciate, all of the new, well, I wouldn't say all, the new ministers, I know all of the new ministers will have government issued telephone numbers, and certainly changes whatever platform it needs would have to be updated. We go back to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, Joseph.
Yes, good morning to you.
And Happy New Year.
Thank you, Happy New Year. Same to you.
You know what I like to see come back, Joseph, rock the box and 1,000 nights with you.
You want to see rock the box back?
Yes, so think about it.
Okay, my dear.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care. All the best to you. She wants to see the Rumble on a Thursday night be reinstated. Jan, did you hear that? 435-2041. That is the number on the inside. We're going back to the telephone lines. And good morning, caller. You're live.
Morning, Joseph, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the New Year finally arrived. Is there any specific direction you need to give me to contribute this morning? I could go ahead.
If you can, just do reflections on the year that was, highlights, and possibly let's look at the positive trajectory for the new year.
Okay, I think the last year very much go down here, the very watershed years for Grenada, because we finally did something that people were saying was impossible. They had a fundamental change. And I just hope that we could sustain it. And I was just talking about changing the political establishment, but changing the way how we approach life here. And the attempt to bring back some level of law and order. We have a long way to go still. And I think it's because of that we had some of the issues that came up in recently, whether it's the person sending back that gift, which seemed to provoke a whole set of conversation, and some people have misunderstood, which think that the party and the government is the same, because I heard some people trying to equate what had happened recently with what happened when the then NDC government was in power, and there was a split in the party when money was channeled to a particular section of the party, not an individual, to an individual, which is totally different. That's a party thing. We have little control over the political parties in Grenada. Or we could have control over the government in the sense, because the government will be of all the people, for all the people, by all the people. And the the Citizen by Investment Authority is supposed to be, although I don't support it, it's supposed to be for the people, by the people. And it's like how Nawasa is, So we need to know what's going on. And people say, no, you shouldn't leak the information and that kind of thing. But thank God, some light is shining. Now, there's another thing I could speak about, but I want to speak about, and I hinted that last week, in terms of projection. Two things I want to reiterate it. Two crucial things. We need to find a way that we could be able to be, at a minimal, be able to feed ourselves, no matter what is happening in the world. So, we've been talking a lot about, agriculture, and even when we talk about agriculture, we're talking about exporting for export. We need to really find a way to have food. And Dr. Marcel, I suggested that Dr. Marcel is somebody that should be spoken with. He has some brilliant ideas how we could do to sort of cushion any major impact, whether it's disaster or so.
Right.
By setting aside a certain part of the land or so to plant certain ground provision, ground material under the ground, which don't spoil easily.
Right.
We need to do something like that, but we need to have conversation.
I agree.
That is one. Secondly, the issue of disaster. We have to sort of, in a way, emulate Cuba in the sense that Cuba, in spite of all the blockades and the poverty and so on, they are able to preserve life compared to the great United States, where many lives are lost when you have disaster and that kind of thing. But everyone has to be involved. In fact, we have been saying that tourism is everybody's business. We now have to say that disaster readiness or preparedness or whatever slang you want to put, it's everybody's business.
Right.
So that whatever we do in our daily life would reflect a consciousness that we are minimizing, preventing, and also enhancing the possibility, for if any possibility that we could survive and thrive afterwards. And not before long, I don't want to abuse my privilege.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. 435-2041. And Colin, you made two excellent points that I think each and every one of us need to get on board on. The issue of food security is a conversation that must be had, and it must be had now, not tomorrow, starting today. Good morning, caller. Are you alive?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, caller.
I'm calling to complain about my niece. She went to have a baby. They caught her Thursday. And Sunday they sent her out in the hospital 7 o'clock with a young baby.
I'm not sure I understand. When you say you complain, what exactly is your concern?
Because the thing about it, and she wasn't well.
Oh, she was not well. Okay.
Yeah, and they sent her out with a young baby. And Candy could walk 7 o'clock in the evening.
7 o'clock in the evening?
Yes.
Interesting.
I mean, this is ridiculous in that hospital.
And you sitting there, was it the doctor that ordered the release 7 o'clock in the evening?
Yes.
Quite interesting. Quite interesting, though. But the baby's fine?
It's ridiculous. And that hospital, they're doing people all kind of things.
Is the baby okay, though?
She had to follow up the child in different blankets.
So, but I'm asking you, is the baby okay? Is the baby okay?
Okay now.
Okay, she's okay. Well, let's thank God for that. And
but they must do better than that. Carol, they must do better than that. They must not treat people in the hospital like that.
Well, I do agree with you, and certainly it would be interesting to hear from one of the health officials as to exactly what are the circumstances, even the time that she was actually released by a doctor. That's quite interesting. But thanks for your observations, though.
Okay, you have a nice day and happy New Year.
Thank you very much. 435-2041. I mean, that is quite interesting. I will really, truly, and I'm going to have a conversation with Dr. Donald Suddenly as to what are the protocols as it relates to releasing patients, newborn, new mothers. That's quite interesting, especially releasing them in the night. Wasn't aware of that. 435-2041, that is the number on the inside. It is 23 minutes on to the hour. Let's call it before we head to the break. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning to you. Happy New Year and Happy New Year to the listening audience. Morning.
Thank you, sir. Many happy returns.
Thank you. I saw on social media platform there's a number of photos going around with different ministers. For instance, Senator the Honorable Gloria Thomas, together with Minister Delma Thomas, Honorable, they are giving out backpacks and stuff in a community. I'm not sure if it's Saba. I'm subject to correction. Well, I think that's a very good move, whereby these two ministers coming together and working hand in hand,
Right.
It means a lot for the development of Grenada. Also, I saw another picture with the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, and Bosun sharing a hug, I think that's the way we should go,
And I do share your sentiments. I did not see the picture, but I know one of the former MPs in her speech during the budget presentation, she did send her the olive branch saying this, and I think that's where politics needs to be. I think it augurs well for the growth of our politics, that while we can disagree fundamentally on different ideologies as to how we govern the country, if we find areas of common interest, that we can come together for the greater good of the people. And to everybody involved, I say kudos and hats off.
Yeah, hats off to Delma Thomas and Gloria for the move, because she mentioned that, as you said, in Parliament, in the budget.
Yes.
And she did what she said she's going to do,
Thank you, and I think that's an excellent observation. And I think that's what we want to be the foster, because very often we find it easy to castigate and highlight the negative things.
Yes.
But certainly, I think it augurs well for our growth, where we can highlight positive things.
Yeah.
People coming across the political divide and coming together for the greater good of the nation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And different social media platform is bringing it, For instance, I shouldn't mention the name, but different platform bringing it on social media.
Right. But I think it's an excellent move. Thanks for the observation, sir.
Yeah, cool, man. Have a nice day.
All the best to you. 435-2041. And those are some of the positive things that you want to hear us having a conversation about. It doesn't always have to be about the he say, she say, who's cutting down who and doing otherwise. Those are the positive things that we need to be able to articulate and sit more often. We'll take a quick commercial break, though, and we'll be right back after the messages.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course. Got just that. Hi, my name is Gary, Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio. The Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more. But I can't tell you everything. You got to tune in. The Hot Morning Show on Hot FM. 98.5, 98.7 with yours truly, Gary, Mr. Smooth. Kaboom!
And 19 minutes on to the hour of 10 o'clock in the morning time. Welcome back to those who are just joining us. We say thanks for being part of the conversation. To the point, the first episode for the year. And certainly I did get a chance during the break to look at the photos myself and regarding the joint venture. I think we go to the details, but seeing the parliamentary rep and the minister of opposing side, that had been Delma Thomas, and the social minister, sharing a moment together. And I think it really augurs well for our democracy, and that's how it should be. I saw other photos with the former MP, that's Mr. Boson, and the Honorable Prime Minister, some social gathering, literally. And it's interesting though, and even during that, people would find time to make some negative comments. Listen, folks, I shared this with you. Politics is politics, and there's what you see at the front, in open view, and then that which happens behind closed doors. Do not be fooled. A lot of things do not be fooled. Take things for what they are, enjoy, and live in the moment. We lost that caller, but 435-2041, that's the number under the inside. It's an open line this morning, and certainly giving you the opportunity. I think one of the things we need to be able to do is to accept things for if they are. Somebody says something good to you, nice to you, you take it. Thank you, appreciate it, and stop trying to figure out anything beyond that. Good morning, caller. You are live.
Good morning. How you doing, sir?
Wonderful, thank you. Your contribution, please.
We're seeing a trend in Grenada, right? It's been happening for a little while now, and I think we need to stop it. Illegal dumping. I think it's getting out of hand right now. People are taking money to dump stuff, and they just dump it anyway, people's property anyway.
Yes.
And they go about their business. No, I think the government is involved in that also too. Paying trucks to pick up the grass and plastic bag and whatever by the side of the road and just dump it anyway.
Hold on, let's make sure we take this into perspective, and I want to make sure you're clear on what you're saying. The government is involved in illegal dumping.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that on what basis?
All right, in the Southern Swayze area, that beautiful area before we reach Batway, that open space the way, we take care of our animals.
Yes.
They've been dumping that grass in that past today with all plastic bag and just name it.
Who has been dumping there?
Trucks. Right?
And you're saying that is action that's been authorized by the government?
When I say authorized, I wouldn't say that they tell them dump it there. I'm saying that they dump it there because it's a short way to just treat and go about the business.
Sure, good, sir. So that's why, without even cutting you, I want us to be very, very clear as to what we
pay them.
Yes, sir, but you cannot. There's a separation, sir. I am paid by the GBN, and there is a principles and code of ethics that is expected of me. But I think it's not can be misleading when you say the government is involved or somebody is. So let's be very clear, sir. Let's
I'm being clear. If I give you a work, you're supposed, and I say you have to dump this thing, I have to make sure you dump it in the proper place.
Yes, sir. And I agree with that, but I don't want us to mislead the public as though to suggest that some government official or somebody is deliberately. That's all I'm saying, sir.
Let's not mislead. Who's paying them?
Sir, I don't want us to really
all right, well, let me finish my point
into the semantics of this, sir.
And then right now, there's almost 3 truckload of tires in the area right now. This similar trucks, I guess, they're in bold now. They're dumping tires, The point I'm making is that if we are serious about the illegal dumping,
right,
these things then it will never happen.
And I'm agreeing with you that enforcement needs to be done.
They have 3 truckload of tires in an area where tires don't just rotten like that, tires don't break down like that, tires will be there for the rest of their life. How can you take tires and just dump them?
Have you seen the trucks responsible for the dumping? Have you seen them doing it?
Well, let's not go there.
I'm asking you constructively that if you've seen them, take a photo.
I wouldn't give them my information when I know on the radio like that.
No, I wasn't asking you to disclose information. I'm saying if you're somebody and you have evidence and we can help address the situation, sir. I am more than willing to be part of the solution. I'm not just here to take queries.
I'm going to give you a call sometime. You'll come up and I'm going to show you all the tires.
Here's what you can do for me, sir. Also,
you're in the media. You can highlight it.
So fine. My number, or call the
police
newsroom.
Is the one to investigate.
Or call the newsroom, or feel free to already have information. I'm giving you my email address, joseph@gbn.gd. Send me the information there, and I will forward it.
All right, we're gonna work on that, because if you're gonna work on that, I'm gonna give you a task so you can publish that and make sure that no dumping take place there again.
Okay, sir.
So we're gonna work.
But you would need to do your part, though. Send me the.
Well, this thing has happened for a long time now. It's happening this year, it's happening years now.
No problem.
They get them bowling now. They dumping anything now.
Okay, sir. No problem. Thank you.
Have a nice day, bro.
Sometimes I wonder whether or not we try to really resolve issues, or we just highlighting it for the sake of highlighting. I am not saying what that issues we done is correct. But if you want to be part of the solution, I am offering you a way to deal with it. Give me a call, and we can address the issue together. We go back to the telephone lines, 12 minutes on to the hour. Good morning, caller.
Hello, sir. Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Before about 6 callers, I was hoping to get you. And Miss Gloria Thomas' name come up. And the first caller in that group I'm talking about, mentioned the whole issue of food security, which I was going to address too. The issue with Ms. Gloria Thomas, as Minister for her ministry, she was doing an interview with Mr. Terry on the Habit program on Sunday one time. And she was asked the question as to whether she had enough counselors in her ministry. And she was embarrassed to answer, but she had to answer. And at the same time, she answered and said no. At the same time, she pointed out that there are so much counselors in the Ministry of Education. Here's the problem that I'm seeing. And there's another caller on that program that always addresses that too. I've been addressing it with other hosts. We have a psychologist called Dr. Pancho, who was fired. And I'm yet to understand. And just after he was fired, the Prime Minister went to the United Nations and talked about the mental well-being of our people. At the same time, we're complaining so much about the behavior and attitude of our people. How on earth we expect things to be balanced and settled? I am yet to understand. All this year food security now. Cadore, food, the planting of food is a practical thing. Agriculture is a practical thing. Agriculture is not something you give lip service to. And I pointed that to you in another way. Right now, I have over 350 stool operator on the ground. I feed a corn. Other things. I planted out cucumber and so on, but the rain that we had in recent time. And this type of thing. The point I'm making, if we want to pay lip service to agriculture and food security, the way we have been doing it, when you have so much people in this country don't want to hold a cutlass, don't want to hold a fork, don't want their hand dirty, don't want their hand to have corn, as we call it. Your hand get hard as a result of using this kind of implements. We will never get anywhere with that. So as much as the minister and the ministry is trying to get people to be involved in agriculture, I frankly don't see it happening.
Okay.
There's another problem. We grew up in the world I grew up in. We used to play in the dust. And mud is not a problem for us. We used to play football in the mud. That is not a problem for us. So the whole issue of agriculture could easily fit into our psyche. Nowadays, parents don't want the children to, whatever see the child hand dirty or the clothes dirty, their parents who wash or make the children change their clothes 4 and 5 times for the day. They don't want to see the child dirty. Well, agriculture is a dirty work. When you develop that psyche and you have children not adjusting to the necessary psychological nature of agriculture, I'm yet to see how we're going to improve. Look at the women.
Well, let me just add to you, sir. I don't think it is fair to say that it's true that agriculture is a dirty work. And I think that's where the challenge comes in. I hear you saying it. While you're looking to address the issue, you're saying that agriculture is a dirty work. And I don't agree.
What I mean?
It doesn't have to. That's the perception that we've had, because traditionally you've had most of the persons involved in agriculture may have been for the lower end of the economic ladder, and they maybe couldn't. That's what they had. But there are persons out there who are involved in agriculture, and I certainly wouldn't mind if I call his name, my dear friend Keith Clouden. When's the last time you saw Keith Clouden? If you saw Keith Clouden, and I'm not being biased with that, but he comes to mind, you would never know that he's a farmer. So it's not fair to say, but it's not fair to say it's not. It might be.
Yeah, but you see him, Clouden, when he's in St. George selling his things. Not on the farm.
I have visited him on the farm.
On the farm, he's practically a dirty person.
So,
look at what I'm saying.
So I don't
negative, you know.
I do not agree that agriculture, it can, of course, it involves tilling the soil, but to say it's a dirty job, I don't necessarily agree. But then again, sir,
I don't mean for it to be understood that way. What I'm saying is that you have to get down to it with a cutlass, a fork, and thing. In our given situation, that's practically what the situation is. Mechanical agriculture is not very practical in Grenada. Like in the United States, where people have hundreds and hundreds of acres of land, and flat area, and there is a machine to do everything.
But what I would suggest, sir, there must be a convergence, sir, where traditional means and more conventional ways, there's a convergence. Yes, where possible, yes. But it's to say to people that it's a dirty job. Once you say it, if you yourself is alluding that it is dirty, sir, then you basically alluding people's mind.
Everybody know that your hand has to get dirty in agriculture.
Okay, so I think you and I...
that doesn't mean that it's negative.
I get the point. I get the point that you're making, sir. But maybe it's the way you are communicating it. I agree.
Not negative.
Okay, sir.
We know what it is in this country.
Problem, see, and therein lies the problem as we rest. There are many of us, and I understand that the point that you're making, my dear sir, that with agriculture, it involves getting your hand in the soil. But to say it's a dirty job is that mindset that has been set 30, 40 years ago. That when you see the farmer in his torn clothes and you just skin up your face. And what was the song? The song of the Banana Man. And with me, I ain't going in that because it involves sweating and whatever it is. Those are just elements of the job. That's not all what it is. There's some elements of being a journalist, a broadcaster, that is dirty. I have had the occasion of coming to work, my dear sir. And when I left the newsroom years ago to go cover a story that a particular person, they lost their animals through some attack by dogs. And when I came back to work, you will be surprised. You would not believe if you saw me on the street. So there are times it's not, you end up in places you start going, oh my gosh, across rivers you have to, sir. But to say that it's a dirty job and try to pollute the mind of individuals, let's be objective and let's use the medium to be able to encourage young persons, wherever possible, that we can mechanize the agricultural sector. And there are different arms to agriculture. It's not the only getting and putting your hands in the soil. That might be just one component, but there are other components of the sector that we need to look at it holistically and encourage our young people and get them to understand the role that agriculture plays in our food security and in our sustainability as a nation. 3 minutes onto the hour, this is where we're going to leave the conversation for all those of you who contributed. And by the way, Ernesto, let me just share with you, sir, that yes, we do pay attention to contributors via social media. Very often, though, what happens on social media is that because you sit in there, you are able to write, give me a lengthy contribution. And I may not necessarily say where the contribution is coming from because I don't necessarily am certain that while you're on social media, if you want me to be making your name public, that this is what you said. So I will take it, summarize it. You would hear me use the term an online contributor, sir. So we do pay attention to those of you that is on social media. To each and every one of you, we say thanks for being part of the conversation, and certainly we say Happy New Year to you in advance. Until then, have a great day.